Hey, what's up, man? It's your girl Mari. We got an exclusive interview today with Armin. Armin, what's up, man? What you got going on today?
What's up? How you doing? Happy to be
Good,
here.
good. So I'm really excited about this interview, because
Likewise.
there's so many interesting things about you, you know what I mean? So, but for our audience, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and what your background is?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a independent hip hop artist slash business owner out of LA. You know what I mean? I was born in LA, but I was actually raised overseas in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Lived there
Okay.
for the first 18 years of my life, and then graduated high school and moved back to LA and really started getting into the music. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, and now we're here. The last couple of years, I've been doing this for a minute, but the last couple of years, a lot of big doors have been opening, and I've been seeing a lot of traction, and good things been happening. So
Great. So it's funny 'cause I was just in LA a few months ago, and I wish I would have known. You know what I mean. We would have got this done in person or something.
oh,
That would have
definitely.
been pretty live
Where are
too.
you based out of? Where are you based
We're
out
in
of?
Chicago.
Oh, you are dope.
Yeah.
Uptown, what up?
So it's under my impression you have a doctorate.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So how
Um,
did that come about? How does it that you got involved in the music industry? You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like a big difference right there.
Two big opposites, I know.
Right.
Well, music has always been the passion of my life. You know what I mean? Ever since I could remember, pretty much. You know what I mean? I've been
Okay.
really into music and mainly into hip hop. And then growing up in Europe, I was influenced by a lot of what we call real hip hop. A lot of New
Hmm.
York influences. The '90s golden era and 2000s, like the Nas and Jay Z's and
Hmm.
Tupacs and Wu Tang and things like that.
Yeah.
So that was really my passion, and I started doing music. And when I came to LA, that's when I started taking it serious. But at the same time, I started going to community college first. I kind of used that as a tool to even move here. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but being from an Armenian background, and I was raised by just my mom. My pops passed away when I was only
Hmm.
one, and she always instilled that college thing. And it's really
Hmm.
like an immigrant. You know what I mean? Us Armenians
Yeah.
have it a lot, but a lot of different immigrant, families have that. It was just kind of instilled in me. I almost didn't know better. You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
like after high school, you go to college. So I started doing that, and I was one of those kids that I was always really good at school. So I kind of
Hmm.
jumped both, and I went all the way with it. I graduated from UCLA, and I ended up going to pharmacy school.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Did
to
you
be
ever
a
practice
pharmacist.
pharmacy then, or
Did I have to what?
did you ever practice pharmacy?
Yeah, so I graduated, and once I started working, I mean, I already knew before, but once I started working, I kind of realized like if I want to do this music thing, I gotta go all in. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
not do both. So I stopped working as a pharmacist and fully went into music. But then now I do own a pharmacy.
Okay.
That's kind of like my side hustle. You know what I mean? Out here in Tarzana, California. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, since I have the license and I have the degree and everything, obviously I made sure that I made it work for me. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's great. So, okay, tell me a little bit more about your business then. What you said, what is the name? What's the name of it and where are you located?
It's called LTC Pharmacy, stands for
Okay.
long term care, and it's in Tarzana, California. And
Okay.
I mean, we have a regular pharmacy component where you can just walk in and give a prescription. But our main thing is because it's called long term care, is like we deal with facilities. So
Mm,
anything from rehab facilities or nursing homes or
okay.
hospices, things like that. So we give all the medication for the entire facility. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Oh wow, that's pretty good. That's so awesome to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I've ever heard of an artist doing that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's definitely a little different, I'm kind of a multicultural, coming from
yeah.
a background, and once I did the started the music thing, but also did the school thing, I was like, yo, I got to make this work for myself because
Hmm.
music don't really bring in money until
Right.
it really start working. It really only costs money. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So the
Yeah.
music's been doing good lately, but this was keeping me afloat before that. So.
Right. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, when was your turning point when you noticed that you were gaining like momentum?
It's
Because
been
you.
really gradual for me, but
Mhm.
again, being that I'm Armenian and I kind of was the first one, or not kind of, I was the first like hip
Mhm.
hop artist out of my community. and I blew up pretty like quick within my community. So just off of the strength of that, I was, doing shows, packing venues of 500 to 1,000 people all over, from here to East Coast to Canada, here and there in Europe even, you know what I mean? And I started selling a lot of merch. That's really the hustle of the independent music game, is like, once you gain fans, you got to have something that you can make, something to give the fans, to give a deeper connection, but at the same time, some to bring funds in so you can fund the music, So
Yeah.
we started doing merch, and I ended up opening a store, which is like a clothing store slash content creation studio, which is in Glendale. It's called the Pentagon LA. So my label is called Pentagon Records, and the store is called Pentagon LA. So we have our clothing line, our merch, and then we have like the studio in the back, and we have like a film studio in the front. You know what I mean? Where we create content, people can rent it out, things like that. So yeah, it's dope. We do like events and stuff. It's called the Pentagon.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to stop by there next time I go into LA.
That's where you got to stop by if you're pulling up, for sure.
Yes, mandatory. Hey, so your lyrics pick some real facts, so and I love that, and I know a lot of your fans like that stuff. But you also speak on a lot of some of like the Armenian social like issues going on.
Yeah.
So can you describe like a real life situation that inspired you on a specific track?
Yeah. So my music is really just hip hop for everybody, but being that I am from the background that I am, and I'm kind of the first one, I felt like, hip hop is the voice of the people, right? It's the voice of the struggle. And I'm like, coming from like outside of the hip hop culture, I felt like I got to tell the story of my people and represent where I'm from, stay true to who I am, So really, I just made this one song called Open Wounds. I've done a couple here and there, but mainly it's this one song called Open Wounds, which is focused on the Armenian genocide. And again, it's really about crimes against humanity. And that's why it became really successful for me, because a lot of people from other races, everybody was relating to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open Wounds, because I give you a quick background, but there was a genocide in 1915 where 1.5 million Armenians were massacred, and it was like the first genocide of modern day history. So it was before the Jewish Holocaust, before, you know what I mean? So to this day, it hasn't been recognized. So that's why we say we have an open wound. Our wounds are still.
Yeah.
So I did this song with a video. We created like this T-shirt with it, and it became this whole like movement, which was really like a tool to raise awareness and educate people. You know what I mean? Through hip hop, we were able to reach all people outside of our community, but also a lot of like young people in my own community that maybe didn't know about it or didn't care as much. It kind of became like a cool thing to rep the shirt. And then throughout the years, I've gotten a lot of, relationships within the music industry with like big artists, famous rappers and stuff. So we started, telling them all about the movement. So slowly everybody started like repping the shirt and repping the movement and spreading awareness, So, the Game ended up not only wearing the shirt and posted on Instagram, but he jumped on the remix of the song. From there, it kind of went Cardi B, Post Malone, Offset, you know what I mean? DMX before he passed away, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Wu-Tang. So, you know what I mean? So we got a lot of support. So yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. And like I said, I think a lot of time when people get feel emotional about certain topics and things, I think that's when you gain the most momentum with things like that too, because like you said, a lot of cultures, even us Latinos, we can relate to that. There's a lot of Native Americans that relate to that as well too. So I think that's great.
That was the most rewarding thing, is of course my community, been supporting me, which is amazing. But for other people to relate to something like that is like, you know what I mean? You didn't really think of that when you was writing it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, when it comes from a real place, when it's facts, you know what I mean? People that's when the best music is made, you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. You be spitting facts. So, even when I have to share this, but one of my brothers, Rabbit, shout out to Rabbit, he sent me this clip, the clip that I had, we had that social media interaction. I said, man, he's spitting facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, yeah, for sure.
Rabbit from the Beat Guy show?
Oh, no, it's no, he's not from a show.
Oh, okay. It's just one of your homies.
He's one of my homies, yeah, one of the bros, right? So so when I started, I was like, why he's spitting facts? I'm like, you know what I mean? So it's like that's like the first impression, you know what I'm saying? So
100%.
Um,
Appreciate it.
what part of being an artist do you enjoy the most?
I mean, me definitely just creating in the studio, you know.
Okay.
There's a lot that comes with it, like doing interviews, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, going out and promoting, performing is a lot of fun also.
Yeah.
But for me, like making the music is definitely the most fun part. Um, yeah, I just, you know,
Okay.
it's just something I can't get away from, you know what I mean? I've been doing
Yeah.
it for a long time, and it's like you always got the urge to like look for new beats and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's
Now,
definitely the fun part.
now, I know you've been in the game for a while, like you just mentioned. How has your practice changed over time?
Well, you know, you evolve and you learn. First of all, you learn about the game and what works and what doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a really fast-paced game right now. You know, with everything being so saturated and social media
Mm-hmm.
and this and that, everybody dropping a million songs every week. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
you can have an amazing fucking song with a huge name attached to
Mm-hmm.
it. But if it doesn't come with another one the following week, another one the following month, another one, you know what I mean? If it doesn't keep going, people forget about it this quick. So
Yeah.
what
True.
I learned is to be like more efficient and yeah, just really stack up on music and make
Mm-hmm.
sure it's like top notch before I start the rollout. You know, before I start.
Yeah.
Because before I've done it where, you know, here and there I was just releasing as I was going, and I realized that's not, you know, that's not how it works.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think working with some like getting consistent, and I guess it comes down to anything, like being consistent with it,
being
whether
consistent.
you're, yeah.
Consistency is the key to life.
Hmm.
Straight up. Definitely when it comes to music, but really anything. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Discipline and
So,
consistency.
what are some other challenges within the music industry?
Oh man, there's so many. But really what I was just saying is like it's just so extremely saturated.
Hmm.
Everybody's a rapper, everybody's a singer, producer. But at the same time, you know, the way people consume music, it's like the attention span is so short. That's why things
Hmm.
are blowing up on TikTok off like 50
Hmm.
snippets. You don't even know who the artist is, but the song just popping, right? Uh,
Right.
so it's really like there's no real formula anymore. Like if you look like artists back in the day, you know, they would get a deal, then they would create an album, and then it would go on like MTV or the radio, whatever, and you on, right? And it would take obviously a lot and a lot of money and things like that, but it was like a way to do it. Right now is like, you know, I've got a bunch of radio play, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna blow you up
Hmm.
on certain big channels, whether it's TV or YouTube or blogs or, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? It still doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna, it just all has to happen all the time.
Hmm.
So it really just comes back to consistency, you know?
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's really the main challenge. It's like the wild, wild west out here. There's no real rules.
Yeah.
No matter how, like I've been studying this for a minute, like no matter how you look at it, it's consistency. If you stay
Yeah.
consistent,
Consistent.
keep dropping quality shit, with content and music and just continuously keep going, that's the only thing that works. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
on here, you know?
Right. Agreed, man. That's real. That's facts right there too.
Yeah,
So.
everything else, you know, people think you get like a big feature that'll help. I mean, it'll help, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
you get a big look, it's cool.
Mhm.
All of that helps, but one thing ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? You
Right.
gotta have all of them consistently multiple
Exactly.
times. Yeah.
So, what do you have like a dream project, like, or you know what I mean? And what can we expect from you this year, 2023?
Be honest with you, this year I'm gonna drop what my dream project has always been, because I've been the last few years I was blessed enough to lock in with Scott Storch as a producer.
Mhm.
And like I always felt like I needed that major, like not just a big name, but like an incredible producer that can really create the sound. And for me, find that balance because I come from like a lyricist background.
Mhm.
Um, so I tend to kind of go towards like more underground sounding, you know what I mean, music.
Yeah.
And I've learned to kind of like find my balance where it's still me and I'm definitely still spitting. It's all lyricism and stuff, but the music also sounds appealing to the masses, if that makes any sense. So I feel like Scott Storch gave me that, and I've been able to work with some of the people that I dreamt of working with my whole life on this album. Like, you know, my favorite artist has always been Nas. Nas is
Mhm.
on the album. Method Man from Wu Tang is on the album. but then also Quavo, Offset, YG, you know what I mean? So I got a
Yeah.
good balance of like the legends and like the newer people. And
Yeah, like a mixture thing, a mixture of it.
yeah, and I feel like it's by far the best music I ever made. You know, I've been pressing play on people. I've been having a lot of meetings with like
Hmm.
just people in the industry, DJs, the label people, this, that, and the reaction all been the same. Like everyone's been blown away. So I can't wait. You know, we just started the rollout. I dropped one song a couple days ago called Lonely Day. Um, but the first big release is next week with YG, and then I'm gonna
Hmm.
drop every other week. I'm dropping a big record until the album in April. I'm not sure when
Okay.
you guys are publishing this, but April,
Hmm.
mid-April is the release date for the album as of now. So it's gonna be
Okay. I think it might be around the same time, to be honest.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, so it might, so, we might,
So
if you
the
get
paper
the,
right now, the album is either out or it's coming out really soon. Uh,
yeah,
but it's yeah, it's no joke. This album is a monster.
for real, I can't wait to listen to it.
Hell yeah.
So, if there's any, and can you name three artists that you would like to be compared to, whether it's, you know what I mean, artists
Mm.
that you've been influenced by, or, you know what I'm saying, that you kind of like, you
Yeah,
know,
I can definitely mention artists I've been influenced by. I wouldn't go as far as saying compared
hmm,
because I would never compare myself to like iconic, you know what I mean,
hmm,
names already.
right,
You know, I just mentioned Nas, I just
hmm,
mentioned the man from Wu-Tang, but definitely like Kendrick, Drake. You know, I
hmm,
strive for greatness, you know what I mean? Like
right.
those are like all-time greats, you know what I mean, and what they do. So, but I still got a long way to go, you know what I mean?
Now, if you could give yourself any advice to a younger version of yourself, what would that be?
Oh man. Um, definitely that consistency thing we spoke about
Mhm,
and the discipline of really of anything in life, but the discipline of continuously doing it, but
mhm,
also you know, make sure you build a team, have the right people around you, even on your not only in your like working team, even your friends and stuff like that. Like, you know, everyone you around is what influences everything in your life. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Your couple
Hmm.
best friends are into whatever they're doing, you eventually gonna be end up being involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
that's true.
if
That's
a
true.
couple of your closest friends are really ambitious and they're getting shit done, whatever they're doing, you know what I mean? Whatever industry you're in, I just really understand like energy. And
Hmm.
as soon as I meet someone, do I want to be around them or not? People, even you know what I mean? Like it's not
Right.
about how long you know somebody. Like yes, loyalty and being
Hmm.
friends and stuff like that is extremely important. But I feel like when I was young, I was loyal to the wrong people for too long.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I felt I have to be loyal to the homies,
Hmm.
but the homies was what was holding me back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Even though I knew that deep inside, I still said like I gotta be loyal. You know,
Hmm.
I learned where loyalty is extremely important, but
Right.
they also loyal to you and your dreams and your goals of your life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because if they're
And
not, they're really not the friends you're supposed to be loyal to.
yeah, and that's true because, I was just telling my daughter the other day, I'm like, if you hang out with a bunch of losers, eventually you're going to become a loser too. If you become with a bunch of people that are not up to no good, eventually you're going to be up to no good. Now, if you are around people that are trying to do something positive, they're trying to, do this, do a business and just talk about doing good things, then you're eventually going to be doing the same things. So maybe when
That's
we're
really
younger, we don't capture that, but as we get older, we're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes
you
sense,
realize, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's like the key to life, really, to understand who you should spend your time with. You know, our time really valuable. You know, life is short, no matter how old you become,
Hmm.
and like you gotta be, conscious of who you spend time with.
Right.
Yeah. It has
Now,
more of an effect than you think, even on an
y-
unconscious level, energy level. It has a big
exactly.
effect. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Right. Is that to say what we occupy our thoughts with, right?
facts. Yeah. You can
Now,
not to
uh,
dwell on this, but one more
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
like you can feel like how a person you can sense how a person makes you feel after like spending time with them. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
You feel down? Are you like something bothering you, or are you
Hmm.
like super motivated and super excited about life? Like you feel it.
Right.
It can be your
Right.
significant other, it can be your family, it can be your siblings, it don't matter.
Hmm.
It can be your parents. A lot of times it's our parents holding us back. They don't mean to, but
Hmm.
they what I mean? So you gotta like manage who you around and how much you around. You know what I mean?
That's very true, because there's people that are, how should I say, they're real energy sucking, you know, like they're
Yeah,
sometimes they just drain you. Like, just you can just be with a person for a few hours and you feel so drained after being with them. You're like,
yeah,
geez, like,
I gotta.
and then you kind of start dreading, like, I don't want to hang out with this person now because they're so energy draining, you know. But then you
No,
get the
no.
people that are like, they kind of pump you up to do better, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh yeah, you know, like I feel pumped up now, like I want to do this, I want to do that, you know. So yeah, that makes
That's the real thing. I got a bar in the song that says, "Is you a fountain or a drain?" You know, like that's a real thing.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I want to say thank you for this great interview for the Plug magazine that's selling and distributing all over the U.S. state penitentiary
Hell yeah.
systems, plugging everybody in with what's hot in the industry. You know, AK and I really appreciate the love and support. Do you want to send any shout outs, and can you shout out your social media accounts?
Definitely. First of all, shout out to Plug Magazine. Thank you for having me. I think it's really dope what y'all doing. You know what I mean? Like to people that's locked up and everything. If anybody watching this or reading this,
Mhm.
hold your head. You know what I mean? Stay positive. I know it's difficult, but it's all in the mind. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And get out is really the same thing. It's gonna be a struggle for a minute, but I got a lot of friends. I've never been locked up myself, so I don't
Mhm.
want to act like I know how it is, but
Mhm.
I have a good amount of friends. Actually, a close friend I just got out a couple months ago, and I see the struggle, but I also see the positivity and
Mhm.
surround yourself with the right people, and a lot is possible. Pretty much
Mhm.
everything is possible. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, shout out to all of y'all, and thank you for having me. The name is Armeen. It's spelled the letter R and then mean, like a mean person,
Mhm.
MEAN, and that's all my social media handles. You know what I mean? At Armeen. Follow me on IG or Twitter, whatever you guys use. I'm on everything, but I'm most active on IG, but TikTok, Snapchat, wherever you want to find me. Of course, Spotify, so you can hear the music, and
Mhm.
a lot of big records and projects on the way. This year is gonna be crazy. So let's
All
go.
right, so make sure everybody go follow social media accounts. So he's gonna drop this album coming up in April. So man, you gotta stay tuned to that. So I'm
Stay
pretty sure
tuned.
you're gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
posting on your social media. So everybody stay tuned, stay plugged in, and so we out.
We out. Thank you. Peace.